You're watching Bears Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Harrison Graham. Got Bush? Well, no longer with Manscaped. The Lawnmower 4.0 is going to trim that thing right up. Today's show presented by Manscaped. Go to manscaped.com, use promo code BEARS20. That'll get you 20% off plus free shipping. All right, let's get to the news of the day. Then we'll get into a couple of other headlines as well. Bears Communications tweeting this out. We kind of saw this late last night. I put a community post up. Bears signed free agent defensive back Jayson Stanley out of Georgia, 2019 undrafted free agent. He's kind of bounced around. And then we have placed the following player on injured reserve, that of course being Dakota Dozier, who got carted off the field last week. Number one, tough break for Dozier. I didn't want him to start, but he probably was in the mix to have a chance to start at right guard. Now that will not be the case, obviously, as he heads to IR, so he is out of the mix on the Bears offensive line. As far as Stanley goes, you're talking about a career journeyman. This is his sixth team since 2019. He's bounced around a few different practice squads, only 8 career starts, all of which took place last season with the Seattle Seahawks. Decent size at 6'2", but this is a camp body at best, I would think. I don't think he'll push for a roster spot, but got a little playing time last year for Seattle, so he joins the fray in Chicago as Dozier heads to injured reserve. When Bears news happens, no matter how big or small, we have you covered here on Chicago Bears Now. So hit that subscribe button, youtube.com/Bears Now. We will continue to bring you the latest Bears news and rumors, plus do other segments on a daily basis. Like on Monday, we did our Who is Braxton Jones segment. A lot of you guys enjoyed that. Maybe we'll do something similar soon. youtube.com/Bears Now. More videos to come here on this channel. I think the more significant part of it is the Dozier injury. Not necessarily because that's a high-leverage starter or something like that, but I still look at this right guard spot and still have question marks at tackle, by the way, but especially right guard, and I'm like, do you feel comfortable with Sam Mustipher or Zach Thomas or J. Tyree Carter? I would say the answer is no. That is what I would say. I think these are your potential starting right guards that you currently have in Mustipher, Thomas, Carter. Teven, Jenkins, Borom, maybe one of those guys kicks inside. That, of course, could be a possibility. Now, if it were me, I'd go side of guard. Listen, I would feel better about this offensive line if they signed one more vet. Technically hired because it's a job at the end of the day. Go sign one more vet, right? Whether it's a tackle or a guard, I think a right guard makes a lot of sense. Here are 3 guys that could come in and start at right guard. Quinton Spain. Talked about him quite a bit. Veteran guy. He's been an above-average starter in this league. I'm surprised he remains unsigned. Ereck Flowers, another starting caliber guard. He's not great, but he's kind of made himself into a decent guard after being a bust as a tackle coming out of college. And then Daryl Williams, who can play right tackle or right guard, gives you that flexibility. If nothing else, he's a quality depth guy at best. He can start at one of those 2 spots. I would feel much better if this team would sign one more veteran. I really would. I'm not saying I'd feel great about the offensive line, but I think I'd feel better than I did now. If you signed a guy that is a proven starter, then you'd feel pretty good about 3 of the 5 spots with Patrick at center. I think Whitehair is a candidate to bounce back and play pretty well, and then whoever this vet is, and then hopefully out of the other 2 guys that are question marks, if it's your 2 tackles, hopefully at least one of the 2 plays pretty well and you only have 1 weak link. Name an offensive lineman that the Bears should sign in free agency before training camp. Let me know down in the comment section. Sometimes this is the time of year that moves happen before camp gets here, as teams evaluate their rosters, how things sit after minicamp and OTAs. So let me know, name an offensive lineman that the Bears should go out and sign. Coming up in just a few moments, the Bears training camp schedule has been released finally, so we know when the Bears will return to Hallis Hall for training camp and which practices will be open to the public. So if you're interested in going out to Hallis Hall for training camp, stay tuned. We'll have you covered with all of that information. But first, appreciate Manscaped for sponsoring today's show. Like I said, the Lawnmower 4.0 going to shave you up nice and gently downstairs, give you a nice little trim. to make your package look a little bit bigger. You can get 20% off at manscape.com with promo code BEARS20. Also comes with free shipping as well. The lawnmower is a great product because it's waterproof. It's got 4 adjustable guards there, so you can kind of vary how much hair you want to leave downstairs. You want to leave a bit of a soul patch, you can do that as well. Advanced skincare technology, going to limit the razor burn and all that stuff. This is high quality stuff, a high quality product that I've been using for almost a year now. I used to use the 3.0, been using the 4.0 for a while. Promo code BEARS20, manscape.com. We'll have that information in the comments and in the description of this video. All right, let's get to that training camp information, this schedule here. Camp's going to open up July 26th. And then some other notable dates, the 3 preseason games kind of sandwiched in there during training camp. Home game against the Chiefs, a couple of roadies against the Seattle Seahawks on the 18th, and then the Browns on the 27th. And then camp closes on September 1st as the Bears will then get kind of into their normal practice routine before that Week 1 matchup against San Francisco. I think this is the information you guys are really interested in, because I'm sure a lot of you guys will try to go to open practices at training camp. 11 practices in total. 3 of them there, July 28th through 30th. Those will all start at 10 a.m. Central, as will all of these, by the way. August 2nd and 3rd, those 2 practices are open. August 5th is an open practice, so is August 7th, the 10th, the 11th, the 15th, and the 20th. All practices open to the public. There's several that are not, but 11 total open practices. I think that's pretty good work by Matt Eberflus. So the local fans can come out, and some guys can fly in and get a taste of what this team is going to look like. Bears football, it's in the air. It's almost here. You think about it, July 26th, that's just over a month away. It's about, 5 weeks or so, and then training camp will be here. So just like that, it'll be back, and we'll get ready for the 2022 season. I, for one, cannot wait, because this is the time of the year where it's like, there's not a ton going on. Let's get some real football, and that starts at training camp. All right, will you go to a training camp practice? Type Y for yes, type in for no. Let me know in the comments what you guys plan on doing. Will you attend a Bears training camp practice this year? Get your votes in. Let me know down in the comments section. Is Fields going to disappoint in 2022? I don't think so, but Bleacher Report does, as they named Justin Fields as the Bears player that could be a disappointment this year. Did an article for all 32 teams and listed one player on each team that could disappoint. And, they went the national media narrative route with, they haven't put enough around him, whereas, other second-year quarterbacks have more around him than Fields does. Now the Bears continue to praise Fields publicly. They continue to say that he's doing all the right things, that he continues to make progress. So I guess we're going to find out, right? Here's what Bleacher Report had to say in this article. While fellow 2021 first-round quarterbacks Trevor Lawrence and Zach Wilson saw their teams make major changes to their offensive personnel, Justin Fields had to settle for a few backup receivers with the addition of Byron Pringle, Equidemius St. Brown, Tajay Sharp, and Dante Pettis. None of them has caught 50 passes in a single campaign. While the team may expect Fields to show vast improvement, don't count on that happening in 2022. Now, look, the national media has been saying this for months, right? They haven't done nearly enough. They haven't done nearly enough, which I understand all that. What they fail to acknowledge is the coaching change and the scheme change and all that stuff, and Fields simply just growing as a player, getting all the first-team reps, but they don't want to include that in the narrative. I understand what they're saying about the personnel. Some guys are going to have to step up that have to prove more than what they have in the past. But at the end of the day, it's up to the Bears, these receivers, this offensive line, these guys to shake that national narrative and say, you know what, it doesn't matter what Bleacher Report says. It matters what we're doing on the field and what this locker room believes in. And I think that this team believes that Justin Fields is going to take that next step from what he did as a rookie, where at times he flashed major potential. At other times, well, he looked like a rookie. And that's kind of how things go in the NFL. You don't come in after being fantastic at Ohio State, dominating, and just take over the league. It just doesn't really work that way. But hopefully with this new coaching staff and with the minor additions that are in place, and with another year of Darnell Mooney, Cole Kmet, hopefully taking that next step, that Justin Fields can break out this year. Now, look, don't get me wrong. I am still open to adding more pieces on this offense, whether it's, a wide receiver or another offensive lineman or two, which we talked about earlier. Definitely open to doing that. I would have no complaints whatsoever if the Bears went out and did that, which they still might. They've got the money to do so, and there's a lot of time between now and week 1. But I'm also not just going to accept the narrative that, well, Fields and the Bears are screwed because they haven't put enough around them. I don't think that's necessarily the case. Now, time will tell. It's up to the Bears to prove the national media wrong, but at this point in time, I think it's okay to feel okay about where the Bears are at. Now, do you believe in Justin Fields? Because this is kind of the crux of the whole thing, right? If you don't, then, nothing else really matters at the end of the day. Type B for believe, type D for don't. Let me know if you believe or don't believe in the Bears' second-year quarterback. All right, that's going to do it for our news and rumor show here. Make sure you guys subscribe, youtube.com/BearsNow. We will continue to bring you videos on a daily basis.